Now listen to this speech by John Mbadi at State House.
There is need to revamp and upgrade the revenue collection system so as to capture all taxpayers through digitization. Leveraging on technology will revolutionize tax processes, seal revenue loopholes, and enhance efficiency of our tax system. These proposals, Your Excellency, are not meant to punish or target Kenyans. Our intention is to deploy instruments that will expand the tax base, particularly from the traditionally hard to tax in sectors, while protecting existing businesses and taxpayers from overtaxation. Our tax policy, Your Excellency, you are aware that we are looking at that in the medium term to reduce rates of tax, including corporate tax, from 30% to 25%. We are thinking of reducing VAT from 16 to 14%. This can only be possible if we expand the tax base and everyone who is supposed to pay tax pay their fair share of taxation.
Now, that is John Mbadi speaking. Instead of, I think it was Kiare Day or maybe Taxpayers Money Day. I don't know, something of that sort. Now, John Mbadi here gave a very nice speech. It was a very long one, almost 45 minutes. And his intention was to simply highlight on what is happening within the Treasury and the KRA departments. Now, as we speak today here, let me first take you through on how Mbadi found himself in the cabinet. The Gen Zs and millennials in this country demonstrated because of some things in this country. One of them, high taxation. Second one, corruption in government. Third, it's poor governance. Fourth, we had many other issues. I'm just mentioning four of them. Fourth, it is the exorbitance within the government. Now, in a nutshell, money was being collected, whether it was huge or small amount of money. It was collected from Kenyans. Instead of it going to assist the government, this money was embezzled by a few people in government, used on some things that are not meaningful to Kenyans, especially buying belts and watches and traveling. Some monies are stolen, taken to offshore accounts, stored there, and then still they come back to Kenya with more taxation measures to ensure at least they have taken more from Kenyans. So that is one of the things that angered Kenyans, poor management of the Kenyan money. So streets were occupied by Gen Zs and millennials. Finally, the optimum staff was to occupy parliament. When this happened, our aim was to stop the MPs from voting yes in support of the Finance Bill 2024. They voted yes despite of the killings that occurred at the parliament buildings. Then we had now the president's time to assent to the bill. But instead, President William Ruto decided to withdraw the bill in totality as part of the request of Kenyans, or as part of the demand of the Kenyan youths. So from there, William Ruto later on decided to dissolve the cabinet. And the cabinet was dissolved because Kenyans accused most of the cabinet members who were corrupt, close friends of William Ruto, who were exorbitantly using the Kenyans' taxpayers' money. William Ruto reshuffled some that we as Kenyans said no to, and then brought on some new people, that is John Mbadi, some agriculture minister, cabinet secretary Ali Hassan Joho, Opiyo Wandayi, and of course Wycliffe Ambetsa Oparanya. That was a political way of handling this matter. But nevertheless, it was said that experts have been taken to government. And among all those people, the person I saw could be closer to being an expert, it was John Mbadi. So John Mbadi takes the seat of the Treasury as the Cabinet Secretary from being a minority member in the National Assembly who was in the opposition side. Let's not forget that John Mbadi is the one who was making it very clear to Kenyans that William Ruto's government is cabinet skunk members of the cabinet. William Ruto's poor and competent members of the cabinet are the ones who are failing this government. He's the one who told us about taxation in this country, over-taxation. He's the one who told us about corruption and embezzlement of the Kenyan taxpayers' money. So the moment he was nominated to become a member of the cabinet, the expectation of Kenyans was that he's going to fix and bring in what he was saying while in opposition side. So upon getting there, John Mbadi has surprised most of the Kenyans, especially the youths who are learned and know what's happening in this country. How has he surprised us? To begin with, corruption is the major issue you have in this country. When the Gen Zs were going to the streets, their aim was not that we don't want to pay taxes. The aim was, before we pay taxes, these ones that you want, additional ones, make sure that those that we pay, those that we pay are well used, they're not embezzled, they help develop Kenya. But now, Mbadi getting into power, he has forgotten the cause that we had. Perhaps he was not part of the cause, but at least he knew the cause, that we wanted the monies that are collected from Kenyans to be used in the right way. But right now, his focus is to expand the tax base, which is okay, expanding the tax base. But we are saying as a country, expanding the tax base, it's not necessarily through over-taxation, but it's through creating more job opportunities by lowering some taxes and increasing the employment opportunities in the country. That is not the basis of this my video here. The basis of my video is that now Mbadi is focusing on expanding the taxation base, collect more money, and take it to the government. And our problem as youth of this country, it is that after you've collected the money, whether huge amount or small amount, what does this money do to the local mwananchi? That's what we are complaining here about. Mbadi has focused on simply having more money to the government. More money, in short, for looting. More money for embezzlement. More money for travels. More money for MPs. More money for bribery in this country. Yet we want the money that Kenyans collect goes direct to changing this country, paying debt and ensuring at least this country is developing. That is going against the cause that the youth of this country died for in the parliament buildings. So Mbadi has focused so much on having more money from Kenyans, which is the wrong course as to why he was taken there. If at all, he was taken because of the Gen Zs and millennial demonstrations in the country, because we demanded for technocrats to take over the cabinet secretary seats. So Mbadi decides to go there and forget about corruption, forget about the issues to do with embezzlement of funds, forget about the unnecessary travels of William Ruto and his cabinet secretaries and members of parliament, forget about the embezzlement of the CDF and other funds, and now focus on getting more money for Kenyans, for these MPs to go and steal, for William Ruto to travel to abroad, for purchasing more cars, and many other things that don't matter to Kenyans. Let this message reach to Mbadi, that what we need as a country, it is where the money that we collect, whether a huge amount or small amount, it's well used to change this country. Not stories on how the money is going to be collected. Collection, people will pay willingly. But who are you going to tax if you are killing the economy of this country? I don't know what is your take. What should Mbadi do? Let me see on the comment section, so that at least we can learn together on how Mbadi should handle this country. Do you think that it is more taxation or fast management of our taxes that is needed? Because I personally needed Mbadi to come up with a structure in which they are going to reduce the cost of travels, the unnecessary payment of buying of newspapers in offices, unnecessary buying of tea that costs millions of money, unnecessary travels, unnecessary purchasing of cars, so that we can have that amount that is being purchased to doing use on these other unnecessary things being channeled to payment of that taxes, of loans, and also at least funding our education model, even at least channeling to she, at least something of that sort. I don't know what's your take. Let me know in the comment section. But Mbadi, I think personally, I am disappointed. I hope that he's doing the right thing, but the fact remains, collecting more taxes is not what we really need at the first thing. The first thing is having our taxes well managed. I don't know what's your take. Let me see it on the comment section.